Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about proving congruent triangles using the shortcuts that we've already learned. I'm also going to be talking to you guys about flowchart proofs, which you guys will be using an awful lot when you're proving these triangle congruencies. Now the proofs that I'm going to be doing today are a little bit simple, but I'm also going to give you some tips on how to use flowchart proofs to prove congruent triangles. So let's try the first problem we have. Here we have two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle EFG. What's given to us is up here. We can see that we have AB and EF are congruent, BC and FG are congruent, and also angle A is congruent to angle B. So one thing that I like to do when I'm doing these flowchart proofs is I always mark the diagram so I know what I'm looking at. So the first thing, right, this guy right here, AB is congruent to EF. I'm going to mark AB over here and EF over here with a single hash. Same thing for BC and FG. And we can also do the angle here, angle B and angle F. So now I know what I'm looking at. You'll notice that there are 3 boxes on the left and 1 box on the right. A pretty good indicator on how to do these proofs is whatever you want to show should go into the last box. You might see show, you might see prove, want to show. All those phrases are used interchangeably. In this case, we want to show triangle ABC is congruent to EFG. So by the end of this proof, what we have right here, ABC is congruent to EFG, should be in this final box over here. Also, what we see in the first boxes should be our givens. So in our first 3 boxes here, this is a very easy proof, we have the 3 givens. So let's fill these out. So all I did here was quickly transfer my 3 givens into these 3 boxes here, and this is a pretty standard format. I use different colors only so it would come up better and you'd be able to see. So obviously we have what's given goes in the box, and the reason is underneath the box. So the box number 1, AB, is congruent to EF, and that's given. Same reason for number 2 and for number 3. So the 3 boxes on the left are now filled in. So what do we do with the box on the left? Well, because AB is congruent to EF, and because BC is congruent to FG, and because angle A is congruent to angle B, we can have 2 congruent triangles. So here we have box 4. And that has triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EFG. Because of those 3 reasons. So looking at our diagram up here, what reasons do we give? Well, number 1 gives us a side. Number 3 gives us an angle. And number 2 gives us a side. So looking at this, we have side, angle, side. So for reasoning here, for number 4, our reason that these 2 triangles are congruent would be side, angle, side. Couple of things to note. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, this is about as easy as you'll find for a flowchart proof. One thing, you see how there are 3 arrows here going into a single box. And whenever you see something like that happening, that tells you that the box that those 3 arrows are going to is going to be the congruent triangle boxes. If you notice, all of our shortcuts are 3 letters. ASA, SAS, SSS, right? In this case, I mean, it looks they're out of order here. It's actually SAS. But the 3 arrows will tell us that we are going to be proving the congruent triangles in the next step. Also, as we mentioned in the beginning of this proof, what we wanted to show, this right here, should end up in this box right here, and it did. Let's try another one. So here we have 2 congruent triangles. We have angle what's given, is angle P is congruent to angle T. So as we did to start out the last problem, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark the diagram. So it's already marked here, but I'm going to mark it just so I know that angle P, is going to be congruent to angle T. We also have RT, segment RT, or side RT, is congruent to side RP. Alright, so here we only have 2 givens, where in the last one we had 3, so this is going to be a little bit more challenging. So now that I've plugged the givens into those first 2 boxes on the left, let's see what we're looking at now. We know that what's most likely what we're going to trying to prove here, that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle TSR. Most likely that is going to go into this box right over here on the right. So the real question is, and really the only one left, is what goes in this box. So looking at it, right here we have an angle, and this is a side. So what do we know about certain aspects of these 2 triangles that could give us a congruency shortcut? Let's take a look at this angle right here and this angle right here. They are going to be congruent angles, but why? So we have this box filled in. The last question: why can we say that those 2 angles are congruent? Well, it doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with triangles, but what type of angles are those 2 angles? They're vertical angles. So we can say that they're congruent because they are vertical angles. So this gives us an angle. Right, so what we have here, we have 2 angles, as you can see here, these angles here, and an included side. We have 2 angles and an included side. So we can say that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle TSR because of angle, side, angle. One thing you might have noticed is how I arranged the boxes. I moved box number 3 out a little bit. It doesn't really necessarily matter where you place the boxes. I only really did that to distinguish that it wasn't a given. So that's something that you can look at. I don't know if it will always be the case, but that's the reason why I did that. Now it's time for you guys to try one on your own. So here we have two triangles, the given and what you want to show. There will be some room for you on your guided notes for this screencast to try this problem on your own. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped.